Welcome to the Common Council meeting for the City of LaPorte for Monday, December 7th of 2020. It is currently 6 p.m. I'd like to call the meeting to order. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Councilwoman West.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America,
and
to the republic for which it stands, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Clerk Treasurer Parthun.
Councilwoman West.
Here.
Councilman Galloway.
Here.
Councilwoman Cutler.
Present.
Councilman Frankie.
Present.
Councilman Vincent.
Here.
Councilwoman Konechny.
Here.
Councilwoman Ficus.
Present.
All present.
Thank you, Clerk Treasurer Parthun. May I have a motion for approval of the minutes?
So moved.
I have a second. I have a motion and a second. Are there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Before we go to petitions and comments of the citizens, I would like to just remind all of you and the public of today, Pearl Harbor Day, December 7th, 1941. Obviously an important day in our history, and recognizing Roger Galloway is somebody that served his country, and just recognize all of those that fought for our freedom and lost their lives. So if we could just remember that today. Thank you. We will be going through petitions and comments of citizens throughout the meeting so that your voice can be heard. Mr. Otis, are there any questions at this point?
Nope. Terry Jones just says, "What's up, LaPorte?" That's it.
Gary, thank you for participating. We will now move to standing committee reports. Councilman Galloway.
Tomorrow, the police merit commission will meet at 2:00 at police department.
Councilman Frankie.
The school board will meet on the 14th, so 1 week from today at 6 p.m. at the Educational Services Center, also known as the Old Boston Middle School. And Redevelopment Commission met last Wednesday. It was a quick meeting. Some billing was approved for Bluff City materials, and that was pretty much the gist of it.
Councilman Vincent.
No report.
Councilwoman Cutler.
The Business Improvement District Board met, and 5 appointments to the bid board will be expiring in January. One of the members, Fran Milo, who has served for 20 years, will be retiring. So the 4 other members, Brad Adamski, Jim Kaminsky, Clinton Worthington, and Robin Clark, would like to continue to serve. So the bid board would like to make a recommendation for the empty seat, but the bid board will meet via Zoom this month on Monday, December 14th. If there isn't a decided person to fill that additional seat until after the first of the year, that's still okay because we'll have enough for a quorum. Okay? And the Urban Enterprise Association, at the November meeting of the Urban Enterprise Association, the 2021 budget was approved, as well as a grant for a grease trap for the new Maple and Rye restaurant in downtown. Board member Father Ian Williams submitted his resignation from the board. And this seat is a council-appointed seat that must be filled by a resident living within the boundaries of the UEZ and be either a registered Democrat or independent. There will be no meeting in December for the UEA, and the next meeting will be Wednesday, January 20th.
I'd also like to say, Father Ian, thank you for his service, and we obviously all will be praying for him, and our thoughts, are with him. And Fran Milo, that's a long-term, a long commitment. Anything good in LaPorte, Fran has normally been a part of, so she will be missed as well, but she probably wants to enjoy life a little bit. And Is that position have to be appointed? Do you have to live or work within the district?
The bid board position, you have to live, work, or own a building within the bid district. And the bid district, just to clarify, anywhere in the downtown where you see the sidewalks have been redone, the brick sidewalks, the benches in those areas. So you can be a person who works within the bid, lives within the bid, owns a building in the bid, or owns a business in the bid.
Great coordination with the county as well. The lights look great for Christmas. We all need a light in our life right now during the tough pandemic. So I think it's a great combination between the county and what the city has done along the streets that the bid's been involved in. So great work. Councilwoman Konechny.
The Airport Authority will meet this Wednesday, the 9th at 5:15, and a summary to come next meeting.
Councilwoman Ficus.
Traffic Commission met virtually on December 1st. The next meeting is scheduled for January 5th. The Park Board met virtually on November 18th. Jim and Ann Miller were recognized for their years of service to the community. This will be their last year operating a boat dock on Stone Lake. The docks have been operated by the Miller family since 1957. A subcommittee will put together a request for proposals to replace the boat docks for the 2021 season. Jake Hewlett and Karen Ellison volunteered to serve on that committee. Permission was given for the new fire rescue boat to be docked at Unity Park during the summer months. Approval was also given for horse-drawn carriage rides on the Chesky Trail that will be happening this weekend, December 12th and 13th. And 6 bids were sent out for the 2021 t-shirt contract for all the recreational programs that require t-shirts. 1 bid came back from Bipool Promotion, and Park Board will meet again virtually on Wednesday, December 16th.
And Councilwoman Ficus, if I could add the great work that you and Superintendent Mark Schreiber did to make sure that everybody knows we're going to keep those prices on the boat docks on Stone Lake similar to where they've been price-wise. So they're competitive for city. And that's good news. So thank you. Councilwoman West.
Nothing to report at this time.
Great, we will move to council appointments to the Diversity and Inclusion Committee. Nick Otis? Or should I go right to Tim Frankie, Council President?
Yes, to Tim, I believe Councilman Frankie has recommendations.
I do. So we have accepted applications over the past few weeks to the Diversity and Inclusion Committee. There has been a really great response and a lot of people stepping forward to serve. So I think it's worth noting that each application was reviewed, considered, and we appreciate everyone's willingness to serve. Ultimately, we thought these 2 people had a great set of skills and fit for this new committee, and I'm looking forward to seeing the things that these guys accomplish along with the 3 other appointees from the mayor. So without further ado, the first person I'd like to introduce and nominate for the council's pick on the Diversity and Inclusion Committee is Alyssa Affeld, and she is a proud member of the LGBTQ community. She knows what it feels like to be underrepresented, and diversity and inclusion is incredibly important to the functioning of any community. She recognizes that she was born in LaPorte. She's been a member of our community for many years. She currently is a social worker, and she's ethically bound to participate and identify issues facing at-risk populations, including diversity and inclusion. And I have no doubt she'll do great. So Alyssa's on the call. If you just want to say hi and introduce yourself, that'd be great.
Hi guys, my name is Alyssa Affeld. My address on the application is changing. We just bought a home. Still in the city limits. I've been a social worker for about 7 years now. So I'm excited to advocate for people in our community and make sure that their voices are heard at the city level.
Awesome. Well, congrats on your new home. That's always a big step.
Thank you.
And the next person is a great guy, Mr. Marvin McCoy. He's a lifelong resident of LaPorte and is a seasoned veteran of the local law enforcement, family man with many ties to our community, and he has a passion for equality and progress. He has worked in law enforcement for 25 years, also worked security at the LaPorte Hospital for more than 12 years, and he currently serves as a school resource officer at LaPorte High School, which he's been doing for nearly 8 years. So, Mr. McCoy, if you can just say hi and introduce yourself.
Hi, guys. Yeah, I'm Marvin McCoy here. I really look forward to being a part of this board. As the short bio said, progress is really important to me. Diversity, inclusion, very important to me. Born and raised here in LaPorte, one of 8 children. So, we all have our story to tell, but I'm the youngest of 8, which probably makes me the toughest of all 8 because I get beat up a lot. But at any rate, I'm really anxious to see what this board is going to do. I'm really excited about being a part of it and making a difference here in LaPorte.
Awesome.
Well, thank you, both of you for your service. I guess I have to have a separate appointment time so the mayor's appointments can come through, but I would like to acknowledge I have chosen 3 individuals. The first one, Jessica Aguilar, who will be on the board. Second, Sayla Brooks, who is involved in business in the city of LaPorte, and a young man. And third, Deacon Frank Zolvinsky will also be serving. And the good news is, even besides the 5 that are serving, I was able to contact all the other candidates that were not chosen, and they've all agreed to participate on the committee, in the committee, any way possible. So we've got a lot of positive momentum moving on this board, and we look forward to the meeting as we begin in January. So thank you to everybody for serving, and if there's any questions from the board or any other statements, we will let Marvin and Alyssa move on so we don't bore them with all the other details of our meeting.
Do we need a vote on that, on the 2 council appointments?
I'd make a motion to.
Yeah.
Do I have a motion to vote, to approve?
I believe Councilman Galloway did.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Once again, thank you and congratulations.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Cutler, second and final reading of an ordinance.
Your Honor, I move to read an ordinance for its second time by title only.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Councilwoman Cutler? Or all those in favor state by saying aye.
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 Opposed?
Aye.
Councilwoman Cutler?
It's to repeal and replace ordinance number 4-2020 to establish responsible bidding practice and submission requirements for submitting bids to perform construction work on public works projects. End of title.
If we could, Bert Cook, if you don't mind expanding a little bit, just as a refresher from the last meeting, first reading.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Council. Bert Cook, Executive Director of the LaPorte Economic Advancement Partnership. You'll remember we read this ordinance in its entirety at your last meeting. Just as a quick recap, it is an ordinance that's very similar to the ordinance that it would replace, with some changes that have come up as other communities across the state of Indiana have implemented similar ordinances. So we're kind of cleaning up some areas that were a little unclear or vague in the previous ordinance. Again, with the goal being that making sure that we get high quality people building our projects in our community, and that we've got safe environments during construction and a safe environment once the structures are built. I believe at your last meeting, you had a number of people speak during public comment about just the support for the ordinance, as well as I think some credit to the council for considering this type of legislation, and we appreciated those comments as well. So I'm happy to answer any questions if any have come up in the last couple weeks, and we can go from there.
Any questions for Mr. Cook? Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to,
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor state by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Councilwoman Ficus.
Your Honor, I move to introduce a resolution read for the first time and only time in its entirety.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Councilwoman Ficus.
Resolution to transfer funds within the 2020 budgets. Whereas there are additional monies needed in certain line items in the 2020 budget in order to pay for essential services and obligations. Now therefore be it and is hereby resolved by the Common Council of the City of LaPorte, Indiana, that the following transfers be made within the following budgets for the year 2020. General, Clerk Treasurer, from 311 Professional Services to 211 Office Supplies, $428. From 321 Communication Transportation to 211 Office Supplies, $500. Mayor, from 315 Professional Services to 211 Office Supplies, $1,000. Common Council, from 391 Other Services to 331 Printing and Advertising, $1,200. Police Merit Commission, from 315 Professional Services to 131 Other Personal Services, $85. Board of Works, from 321 Communication Transportation to 341 Workers' Comp Audit, $30,038. Fire Merit Commission, from 315 Professional Services to 331 Printing and Advertising, $184. City Hall, from 351 Utilities to 361 Repairs and Maintenance, $3,393.19. City Attorney, from 311 Professional Services to 321 Communication Transportation, $500. Code Enforcement, from 361 Repairs and Maintenance to 391 Other Services, $246. Fire, from 111 salaries to 221 Operating Supplies, $4,500. From 111 salaries to 315 Professional Services, $1,000. From 111 salaries to 365 lease rental payments, $5,000. From 231 repairs and maintenance to 391 other services, $400. From 321 communication and transportation to 315 professional services, $1,000. From 351 utilities to 131 employee benefits, $3,200. From 351 utilities to 361 repairs and maintenance, $1,000. Police, from 111 salaries to 451 other capital outlays, $36,000. From 361 repairs and maintenance to 391 other services, $3,000. From 241 other supplies to 451 other capital outlays, $5,000. From 321 communication transportation to 451 other capital outlays, $5,000. Local road and streets, from 231.015 operating supplies to 391 other services, $6,500. Parks and Recreation, Beechwood, from 221 operating supplies to 391 other services, $900. CEDIC, City Planner, from 321 communications and transportation to 315 professional services, $2,245. From 331 printing and advertising to 315 professional services, $1,500. From 361 repairs and maintenance to 315 professional services, $1,800. From 391 other services to 315 professional services, $750. Police pension from 124 employee benefits to 315 professional services, $6,500. End of resolution.
Thank you, Councilwoman Ficus. Before I take a motion, Clerk Treasurer Barthune, would you like to just give a little more detail on this normal and annual process?
Sure. So these are normal end of year transfers. As you all know, budgets are estimates. So this just cleans up the appropriations listed within the resolution, and you will most likely see more transfers at the next council meeting.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Councilman Galloway.
Your Honor, I'd like to read a resolution for the first time in its entirety. The only time.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor state by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Councilman Galloway.
Resolution to transfer funds within the 2020 budgets, CARES Act from State of Indiana. Whereas there are additional monies needed in certain line items in the 2020 budgets in order to pay for essential services and obligations. Now therefore be it, and it is hereby resolved by the Common Council of the City of LaPorte, Indiana, that the following transfers be made within the budgets for the year 2020. General, from 101-362-11, fire salaries to following. 101-041-111, clerk treasurer salaries. 101-69-290, council COVID category 1 medical expenses. Well, I forgot the clerk treasurer's was $4,500. And the next one was medical expenses from the council, $16,648.75. 101-69-290.001, council COVID category 2 public health expenses, $183,165.14. 101-069-325, council COVID category 4 remote telework, $45,359.15. 101-069-441-015, council COVID category 6 capital, $423,351.80. In the resolution.
Before I take a motion, Clerk Treasurer Barthune, any additional comments?
Sure. Yes, this is not so normal for us. So the Indiana Finance Authority changed the reimbursement process at the end of October to ensure that all of the municipalities around the state of Indiana captured their full funds that were allocated to them from the state of Indiana as it relates to COVID. So the easiest way for us to do that at the city of LaPorte was to submit fire payroll from June 11th to July 31st for the fire department. So you'll see that the funds are coming from fire salaries and then going into specific appropriations. So they'll go into the appropriations listed on the resolution, which you've seen, which we've set up to follow Indiana Finance Authority reimbursements. Outside of the first reimbursement that you see, the first appropriation that you see, clerk treasurer salaries, that $4,500 is when we hired the deputy clerk treasurer in training. So outside of all of that, it follows categories 1, 2, 4, and 6, which are IFA reimbursements. We're following exactly what the Indiana Finance Authority put in place.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Other business, and I'd like to point out a couple items. Terry Jones on our Facebook page said 3 missing in action soldiers need to be remembered in some way. And Terry, we couldn't agree more. We've asked our Veterans Committee to find a way to honor these 3 individuals, and we will allow that committee to decide how we can honor the 3 individuals. And if you haven't seen the front page of the newspaper from this weekend, a couple of great stories on these individuals that served their country. So we're looking forward to that. Also, Paul Vincent, a big announcement about some local cheerleaders, if you want to share.
Yeah, a little bit of good news. So I heard this afternoon that the Porte Pop Warner cheerleaders at the Pee Wee level were competing for a national championship and they won. So really excited for those guys. Big congratulations out to the Porte Pop Warner.
How many girls were involved on that team?
You know, I'll get it wrong, but it's like 27, 29, something like that, a bunch, a big group. So it took a ton of work.
We look forward to honoring them in person once we're over this pandemic. And as I remind the public, we see light at the end of the tunnel. We will together get over this and be back to normal. So we just got to hold tough during the winter months here, and we will make it together. And LaPorte's a special place. Any other business, Councilman Galloway?
Yes, if it's redevelopment, whoever it is, if they can't cover it in their own budget and we have to co-sign, basically it's just like co-signing the car for your child. They can't make the payment, we do. I think the city council ought to be informed. Like you said, they started back in November, but to make sure there's no overrides on a job or whatever ahead of time, I thought we had somebody of that nature, you know, because it's from 3.5 million we might have to co-sign for here. We already co-signed for 8 million for that area. That's just a lot of money. Just kind of upsets me a little bit.
Thank you, Roger. And again, the 8 million was before our time or the new council's time. And we have a great team that worked extremely hard, and communication is on me. So we will do a better job. But I just want you to know, everybody, how proud I am of this team, and we will definitely improve communication, and I will lead that charge. Any other council comments? Hearing none, for Clerk Treasurer Parthun and Deputy Clerk Treasurer Lehman, it is 6:29. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
We are adjourned. Have a great night, everybody.